Welcome back to the California desert, somewhere outside of Los Angeles. I believe we're near Palmdale this time for the AWSCO Windows Cup Series Round 6 of the inaugural season of this series, live from Willow Springs Raceway in bumfuck nowhere, California. I think middle of nowhere, California. I'm not exactly sure where we are. Apologies for that. I genuinely have no clue.
I'll look it up.
But yeah, we're here for our second road course of the year. First one we had was at Bathurst, which was a very long, very twisty road course. And this one is basically almost the opposite. It's rather quick actually. It's not that long of a road course. I don't think the lap times are going to be particularly long. There's a lot of fast corners in this one as well. So it's going to pose a different type of challenge to these drivers. Liam, I'm joined here with Liam in the studio for the pre-race show. What are your thoughts on the racing today, or what that we'll have today?
So I'll start off. We are in Kern County, California, just outside of Rosamond. So, just in the greater Los Angeles area, sort of towards the desert here. It's gonna be an interesting race. I mean, there's a lot of runoff at this track, but a lot of it is downhill and into a sand trap. So, I mean, you've got room to put your elbows out on this track. Very different than what we were dealing with at Bathurst with those tight corners and really narrow sections with the walls. It's a lot wider, a lot more sweeping at this track, but it's going to be interesting again with all the elevation changes and everything. I'm expecting everybody to sort of be elbows out at the start, and then it should probably chill out until we get to a pit cycle.
Yeah, these first two road courses couldn't really be couldn't be any less different. I think, especially with the amount of open ground you have to kind of just drive around here at Willow Springs. And
I mean, as well, this track's going to be interesting because they've got fencing and walls up around the whole track. You know, make sure nobody gets anywhere they're not supposed to be. But there's certain parts of this track that are protected by some dirt embankments, and I've seen some cars get into some trouble when they get into those things. So don't be surprised if we see a car roll over in the dirt today.
Oh yeah, that's one part of this racetrack's runoff that's certainly going to cause trouble. Those embankments we have seen in other series cars get up on those and roll over. So that's definitely something these drivers are gonna have to look out for.
I think especially on the exit of that last corner, you get pretty quick into that last corner, and then it gets sharp pretty quickly, and then it's a little bit of dirt runoff, and then one of those embankments. So if you've got too much heat going into that last corner, those dirt embankments are going to be something to watch out for.
Yeah, this track has a lot of runoff, but it's not particularly wide, I don't think. Especially with some of the exits of these corners, I think the width of the track kind of tapers off a little bit, and I think you can definitely get caught out on some of the exits there, especially if your car is handling a little bit tight. You could easily find yourself running across the sand and losing a lot of time doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, it's only our second road course of the season. So a track type that to some of these drivers is going to be a lot less familiar. But, I mean, again, we mention this every week with the international backgrounds of all of our AWSCO drivers here. There's going to be some people who are more used to this type of racing.
Yeah, of course, some drivers are going to be bringing that kind of road course racing experience as we move on to our second race in California here. How many laps are we doing? It's 100 laps here, which is, pretty lengthy race. So that'll be quite long. 250 miles at this track. So, pretty lengthy race, I should say. Definitely going to be some strategy games being played. And I was mentioning this is our second race in California because I want to talk a little bit about that previous race at Fontana, which was kind of a race of two halves. I think we had a lot of trouble. Drivers had a lot of trouble getting, a lot of trouble at the beginning of the race. They were kind of running into each other and into the walls. a lot in
Yeah, I mean, I
Montana.
wasn't there for that race, but I saw it and it was absolute chaos to start, and then it sort of chilled out towards the end. And I think we're gonna see some of that, like some similarities to that here. Obviously, it's gonna be different with this being a road course and a lot more room to move around, but a lot more room for cars to gather themselves up if they get spun. But it's going to be a very similar race in that everybody's going to be tight together off the start, and then as these road courses usually go, once everybody sort of gets into a spot, they'll follow each other all the way out to the pit cycle.
Yeah, it'll be a different type of chaos at the start for sure. Especially as especially as you don't get that long of a run into the first corner. I don't think it's a pretty short drive from the from where the start finish line is to the first the first set of corners, I should say. You know, get a left and a right to start the
Yeah,
lap, so there's gonna be a lot of jostling around for position. I think in those kind of early periods.
start finish line's about, I'd say, 3/5 of the way up the main front straightaway, and then it's right into pretty much a 90-degree left turn in Castrol Corner there.
Yeah,
And then the rest of the track you get a lot quicker. I mean,
it's
through the
really
rabbits
yeah.
through the
I,
rabbit's ear and up the hill, it's a lot more sweeping. We get a couple of semi hairpins, and then it's that long straight into the super wide turns. The sweeper in turn 9, turns 8 and 9 there are going to be where everybody carries speed onto the front stretch heading into that second lap.
Yeah, and especially that area between I think from the exit of from the exit of Rabbit's Ear over to the sweeper. That's a very technical part of the track. I don't think you're gonna see that much passing there, but I can definitely see cars making mistakes around there because that is a it can be quite difficult to get your braking spots right, and it's pretty easy. I think it's easier, I should say, to kind of lose control of your car around that part, especially going through the balcony section because that is quite a slow part of the track that kind of loops that comes before and after a relatively fast part of the track, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, that's also where the elevation changes a lot. You come through Rabbit's Ear, you go up the hill towards the balcony, and then back down into Monroe Ridge. And then this is one of those tracks where some people would say there's only 8 turns. Turn 7, Wings leg is just sort of a kink on that back straightaway, and that's where they're going to gather a lot of that speed. They're essentially taking that kink flat out.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, I didn't even realize that that was a named corner, as you'll see in a few minutes time here, but yeah, that kind of kink does exist as a named corner, but it is basically basically part of the backstretch, I think.
yeah, it's very similar to the back straightaways at tracks like Mo Sport or the front stretch at Imola
Oh,
in
that's a good
Formula One.
comparison. Yeah,
It's sort of just a slight deviation of angle, enough to be considered a corner, but not really anything that's gonna offset how the drivers take the remainder of the course.
yeah, I'd agree. And with that, I think it's time to bring out a an old friend of ours from their previous road course race. Um, wait for our production crew here to take it away with the ESN Toyota Camry back in action for the first time since Bathurst. Yours truly driving a mildly well set up car this time, I think.
Yeah,
And
we're
you'll
gonna
see,
get a good look at a hot lap here around this racetrack. You see the dirt embankment.
yeah, and you'll see immediately here just kind of how tricky the exit of 9 is right there. And you can see there's a nice long run in the front stretch here, but the finish line comes in quite late. As you brake almost immediately into Castro Corner here. That's usually taken in second gear, 100 miles an hour.
Got a sand trap out there, gravel trap, and then it's into the Rabbit's Ear, which is the first real long sweeping corner, dirt embankment along the side, and then a catch fence to protect the fans.
Yeah, this turn is a little bit tricky because you really have to manage your turn in and turn out the entire way, or else you're gonna be finding yourself going through the grass here.
On this
Turn
straight here, it's a straight downhill through the sand trap, and then it's back up top.
up to the balcony there, yeah. slowest part of the course here, exiting the balcony. Here's a really tricky part between the balcony and the ridge. You have just a little bit of throttle before you have to immediately brake hard here. Down to first
Direction
gear.
change through Monroe Ridge.
And here
And
it's
then
flat
it
out.
is up and down, and then it's just the long straight.
Yeah. You get
There's
to
the
sweeper.
kink right there. The
The wing's
the
leg.
leg, and then it's in to the sweeper.
Yep, it's got a lift here, no brakes needed until you get to turn 9.
And then yeah, turn 9 and back towards the front straightaway, as you see.
And there, yeah, there was a couple of times where I got caught out by the exit of 9 there. You can see just how much it kind of just tapers into the straight.
Yeah.
That'll be a tricky part of the course for a lot of these drivers, especially if you're heading side by side, kind of trying to make a pass, I think. You have to make sure that you get your exit off of 9 as well as possible. Yeah, with that underway, with that completed, now I think we can start to talk about the state of the grid today for today's race. Janet Parking's in the 72, taking pole in the excuse me here. I believe that's the Team Flurvent. Yeah, Team Flurvent Toyota Camry. It's been a pretty good run of results so far for both Flurvent cars. Of course, they're sitting just inside that playoff cutoff. And I will say that kind of part of the points, I think between, I want to say the 15th place Audie Stoneman and I'd say about to Cynthia Raristown, or no, actually I think I put Michaela Yatzka in there. 9 points separating those kind of spots, 15th to 23rd. In between that, you do have Bria Delod, your most recent winner in the 62 of Alice Yukovic, your Daytona winner. So there's still quite a few spots for points here, but you can kind of start to see that kind of playoff bubble battle start to develop as we're completed five races in so far this season.
Hold on, I'm pulling up the starting grid here to the starting.
And alongside the 72, that's another driver who's had a pretty good start to the season. That's Andrea Davison in the Scotiabank Chevy Camaro for Red Racing, another one of the bigger teams that's had good success so far, I think. I'm not sure if I don't think they've gotten a win yet, but they've had strong showings in every single one of their races so far. Other notables on the grid, of course, on the outside of row 3, that's a new face in the 16 car for Southwest Racing. That's Maya Sheldeby, who's a noted road course racer. Did a lot of open wheel racing in Europe before coming on over here to take on the AWSCO circuit. So that's going to be someone we have to keep an eye out on, I think. Someone with a lot of road racing pedigree taking on this series.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to talk about road racing skill, I feel like we should bring up at least the winner of our race at Bathurst. It was Arlen Handstrom in the 19, starting on row 9. Or no, that was at Bathurst. Starting on row 14, a bit further back than where she started at Bathurst, but I mean, you can still move up through the field relatively.
Yeah, I think
quickly if you make the right moves.
Yeah, I think it'll be down to how the team handles their strategy, especially if you're starting down there. And
yeah, road course races are usually won on pit road. If they get pretty strung out, which I don't expect them to.
I don't think. Yeah, no, they'll be spread out here.
It'll, but even then, I mean, pit road is still going to be a very important part of the race.
Yeah, so. And the other car that ran really well throughout Bathurst, that 27 of Nietzsche Garnstone, starting on the inside of row 9 as well, kind of in that midfield. So it'll be interesting to see where those guys go. And the last person I want to mention is just the shout out is the 98 of Ava Ajarsharaj, another driver with quite a bit of road course pedigree, starting in front of Sheldeby in the outside of row 2. As we wrap up our pre-race show here, do you have any final thoughts on how this race on the upcoming race here, Liam?
Dusty. It's gonna be dusty when these cars get going, because if they get off the track, we're gonna see a lot of dirt kicked up, and I mean that could affect the grip on the track. So It'll be
Yeah,
interesting to see how the
definitely.
drivers handle that. They've only sort of really had to handle a bit of dust through practice and qualifying. This is going to be the first real test of how they handle a racetrack covered in debris.
Yeah, and it'll be a long race for all of these guys. As we'll take you to the booth now. Joining Echo in the booth today, it's Caleb Rose. So we'll take you over to the booth now. Thank you, Echo.
Yeah, and thank you guys for setting us up here for this one. We're here at the Willow Springs International Raceway in Rosamond, California. I'm joined by Caleb. Hello, Caleb.
Hello, Echo.
You were here for Nashville in the Continental Series, but we've had one road course race already this season in Bathurst, and this track is not really like Bathurst in any way, shape, or form. You think these drivers think Bathurst was a good way to get the road course season set up, or do you think this is going to be a completely different challenge?
Yeah, I think this is probably going to be another challenge that all these drivers will have to hurdle over because, yeah, Bathurst and Willow Springs definitely a lot different from each other. Bathurst kind of a race of attrition there, just trying to keep the cars on the road, and it was a really great race there, but this race is definitely going to be a whole different ballpark out here in the California desert. Got a lot of long straightaways, a lot of sweeping corners, and a couple of tight hairpins mixed in there is going to make for some really exciting races, or really exciting race here tonight. There's a lot of passing opportunities. There's going to be a lot of strategy potentially involved. Going to be an interesting race, I'll definitely tell you that.
And they've brought a tire here that wears quite a bit, and these drivers are going to have to manage their tire wear like we saw them have to do last week in Fontana. All right, we're gonna show you our starting grid for this one. On the pole, it's Janet Parkins in the 72, the modified driver from Massachusetts. Kind of a surprise. We didn't expect her to be up front, but she won the pole for this one. Alongside her is Andrea Davison, who won the pole last week at Fontana. Back-to-back front row starts for Davison. Row 2, it's the 46 Yenfi Yanaga and the 98 of Ava Ajarsaraj. In row 3, Rachel Cole in the 52, and Maya Sheldaby stepping in the 16 this week in place of the injured Sky and Jeddah. Row 4, it's Dira Reister in the 17 and the 26 of Sophie Chantose. Row 5, it's the 21 of Amani Wandaya and the 39 of Lily Talberson. Row 6 is the 13 of Yania Waterton and the 8 of Lowry Schliesenbach. Row 7, the 55, Ria Delad, and the 20 of DeGabi Abriella. Delad, last week's winner. Row 8, the 10 of Adi Stoneman, and the 62 of Alice Yukovic. Row 9, the 27, Nietzsche Garnston, and the 99 of Marisha Vebels. Garnston was the runner-up at our last road course in Bathurst. Row 10, Mika Harina, alongside the 42 of Mika Gennaro. Row 11 is Isa Ijavida and Jamie McJasmina. Row 12, it's Pace Lanieria and Angeli Rugatino, who finished on the podium at Bathurst. Row 13, Arena Tosima in the 93 and the 38 of Youngwei Ku. Row 14, Bathurst winner Arlen Hanstrom starts deep in the field alongside the 31 of Taylor Happeman. Row 15, it's the 60 of AWSCO and the 91 of Alicia Byrne. Row 16, Mimi Barino and the 1 of Valicia Vancy. Row 17, points leader Jocelyn Nihale starts alongside Abby Little. Row 18 is the 23, Appy Malikson, and the 92 of Michaela Yataka. Row 19, Tabrizia Tolerone and Cinlia Rariston, two former teammates. And row 20, starting at the back, Periela Contes, who won the pole at Bathurst, and the 9 of Carly Byrne. Do you have any pre-race picks? Do you think there's any keys to this race that we're going to need to, that the drivers are going to need to work through, or what's your pre-race thoughts here?
I think, kind of like you mentioned, we got a very high deg tire here, so all these drivers are definitely going to have to manage their tires well, and also just manage the track. You know, keep that thing on the road and hit your marks, and also hit the strategy as well. But someone who I'd potentially look at for is that 16 car. Like Rosh and Liam mentioned pre-race, that's a driver who has a lot of road course experience, and it's already showing. They're starting up here towards the front, which definitely could also play a factor. Good starting position could definitely set you an advantage, especially here early on. I'd potentially look out for that 16 car to maybe make some noise here in this one.
Yeah, Maya Sheldaby stepping in just in a relief role this week as after Sky and Jetta's injury. We're going to get them fired up.
Drivers, start your engines.
Going to get these drivers fired up, and we'll get this race underway here from the Willow Springs International Raceway. 100 laps today. As they'll drive through the sweeper here and down up into the front stretch. The AWSCO Cup Series cars, this track's going to have a little bit more cars maybe clumped together than usual, just because this road course package has some pretty high drag on it. So, you know, some of the races you might have seen here in the past, Caleb, might be a little tighter than those, just because we got a little bit more clumped together with this high drag package. All right, pace car is off. Parkins and Davison will lead them to the green flag here. Down the long run, the restart zone is actually well down the front stretch. Green flag, here we go. We're racing at Willow Springs. Already looked to the outside from Yunfi Yanaga in the 46. Leaderboard is on the top right of your screen.
3 wide.
They're 3 wide going into turn 3 here.
Oh, we're still 3 wide back here.
They're still going all over the place. They've kept it mostly clean so far. Davison dropped second. She's going to drop third as well, as Jarsaraj is going to get by her. And down this long straightaway, down through the sweeper and into turn 9. This is where they're going to try and get the most out of their cars here. We might see some issues coming off this corner here. Ooh, contact with the 26 and the 16. We're going to make it through the first lap, and Janet Parkins will lead that first lap, so that's 2 bonus points for her on the weekend now, winning the pole and leading a lap.
Yeah, great jump off the start for Parkins as he's trying to pull away with the race lead now, and yeah, we saw Chintose not give any room to the 16 there off of the final corner, not giving her an inch, but he's going to try and fight back now, and I'm sure that after that, probably not the happiest. Oh, we got one around. Oh,
it's
the leaders! The leaders have taken each other out already.
Yanaga went after Parkins, and they both ran off into the sand trap. And drama already up front. And that's going to put Davison in the lead now in the 22.
You've got to be kidding me. It's lap 2. Come on.
Parkins still trying to drive out of the sand trap, but she'll get back out. But, wow. We'll have to go back and see what happened there, but that's turned the lead right on its head. Davison up front.
A tough break for them.
Sheldaby's moved up to third past Cole. What happened? I gotta go back and see that. So Yanaga closes in right here. Oh. I think Yanaga just kind of slid it in a little too deep and got into the 72.
Wow.
Just a little bit over-aggressive.
That's such a tough break there for the two of them. Obviously got off to a really good start, and they were honestly kind of pulling away from the field until that happened. So that's, I mean, it's still early on in the race, but that one is pretty much probably going to take them both out of contention for this one. And, oh boy, we still got some action here going on for the race lead as the 22 goes a little bit wide, and here we go.
Here comes the Jarsaraj in the 98. to the inside of the 22. They're still going to be side by side going down into the sweeper here. And there might be a little contact there between those two. The 98 will get by. And Ajar Siraj takes the lead coming out of the final corner down the front straightaway. And we've had 3 different leaders in 3 laps here. So, hey, if you like action, this race has gotten action.
Got plenty of it so far, I'll tell you that.
Shelby trying to hold off Talberson, the 39 car, fighting with the 16. Liam, what's up on the 72?
Trying to get to the inside.
Just over
Might
the
have been a little bit
72
of
radio,
contact there.
Janet Parking says she cleaned us out. Not pleased being taken out by Yempi on lap 2 there. Obviously really early. Not pleased with the early aggression, and now she's running dead last. So, I mean, I don't blame her at all.
I think I would
Yeah.
be upset too.
Reasonable crash out.
Amani Wandayo getting around Rachel Cole for the 5th spot. The 52's kind of been slipping positions. She was 3rd at one point, well, in relation to where, you know, these cars were without the 72 and 46, but she slipped back to 6th now. And Shelby's gotten by, Talberson's gotten by, and Noah Wandayo's by. I mean, Cole, this isn't exactly her expertise, but didn't expect her to lose this many positions this early.
Maybe just has a bit of an upset car here early on in the race. Maybe there's still a little bit of setup adjustments that need to be changed under the pit stops, but looks like the 52 is just trying to hang on to that track position for now. See how that 52 adapts as this race goes on. Got a lot of battling going out here, though, throughout the bottom half of the top 10. You got the 99 and the 6 going at it. You got the 8 and the 13 all side by side. Definitely a lot of passing and a lot of action here in the early stages of this race. Have to see as they now go down the hill. 99 and 6 are still side by side. Might have some battles heating up here. Got the 62 going after the 26 now. There for the 7th position, I believe. 26 going to hold off the 62 for the time being, and the 99 is going to take that spot.
It's very
But, I'll
interesting.
tell you what, that 98's looking pretty strong out front right now.
You know what I'll say as well is I'm kind of impressed by how well the outside has been able to hold in that corner leading into the sweeper. Like, we saw the 98 kind of make a move there. We're also seeing, you know, some of these cars make moves to get to the outside, and they'll use it. If they can keep to the outside, they'll get to the inside in the next couple corners, and that's really helping them. It's kind of interesting how well that corner has held out. Davidson's not letting the 98 go. And again, keep in
Also
mind,
the 16 who might have lost a little bit of ground there on the start, but made it back up and is now trying to close on her race leaders here.
and keep in mind this high drive package is going to keep these cars a little bit closer together than you might see somewhere else. Just with how much drag these cars have, they're going to be able to just make moves on each other. And here comes Shelby for the second
boy.
spot.
22 goes wide there. The 16 trying to go around the left-hand side. Going to be on the outside here, though, going into the sweeper. That's probably not the best place you want to be. The 22 is going to have the preferred line. 16 is trying to fight there on the outside. Like you said, definitely seeing these guys hold up a lot better on that outside lane. But the 16, they're coming out of the sweeper, is going to have to eventually cede the position to the 22. And 22 actually got a pretty good run there off of the sweeper and is now trying to go after the lead here.
She got a great run off the final corner, but not able to convert it into trying to take the lead. I think she's kind of realizing, you know, we already saw the 46 and 72 run each other off the track on the first lap. So, you know, just be patient for now. It'll come to you eventually. There's a long race, 100 laps, 250 miles here. I mean, we got kind of like, you know, we still got a good chunk of the field up here towards the front. in contention. So right now, the 98 currently has what is the NordVPN fastest lap, 1 minute 15.593. But 16 is third on that list. Again, Shelby, this is her only planned race for now, but she is approved as a makeup driver in both series, so we could see her attempting more races in the future. Oh, 39.
Oh boy.
Almost got into the 16 there.
Definitely got close, but the 16 is going to try and fight back here as we go through the rabbits here. And is going to hold off the 39, looks like, for the time being, but they're still there. We'll see if they make a move here going up the hill and in to the beer balcony. I don't know if that's quite going to be the case. 16's going to hold on for the time being. They're going to shoot it a little bit wide there, but really no harm, no foul there. But the 22 and the 98 trying to pull away a little bit from this battle going on behind them.
Yeah, they're trying to pull away a little bit. I mean, we got... The fun thing about this track is, you know, because of this high drag package, these straightaways, you get a much easier... It's much easier to be able to draft off the car in front of you. I mean, we saw this at Bathurst, down this long straightaways at Bathurst. There was a lot of great passing opportunities there. And, I mean, there's a couple long straights here, too, that you can... you know, make runs down and get around drivers in front of you. We see Wandayo making a move on Talberson for the 4th spot. The 98 is starting to pull away from the 22 a little bit, though. Now Wandayo tight on the 16 here, but kind of holding off for now.
Might have been a little use of the bumper there.
Yeah, I think
going to hold on, though.
I think she's thinking about using the bumper. See, that's a very... That corner there, you know, very... What you can do there, especially, you know, is try and, you know, cross them over, where you give them the chance to defend and then they slide up to the outside and go back to the inside and get by. Saw Wandayo try to do that, but she's actually just going to make the run work into turn 9 here.
Textbook pass right there, going to the inside, going into the sweeper, and Wandayo is going to take that 3rd position away, as now the 16 is going to have the 39 right on their back door. 39, she's going to try and look to the inside of the 16. They're going to be side by side going through Castro Corner and here into the rabbits here. Going to stay side by side. 16 might have an advantage there on the inside, and it looks like she is going to hold on to that position for now.
And I think Shelby, you know, we saw her, she was fast in that early run, but that 16's kind of started to taper off. And it has kind of started to taper off here in the long, as the run has gotten longer. Russia, what do you got on the 52 of Rachel Cole?
Hi, calling in from the studio here. Just a quick word. We were in contact with the 52 team earlier in the run, and just wanted to mention that Rachel Cole is having problems getting heat into those tires right now. Hence why she's not, you know, that's why she's falling backwards in the order right now. Now, there's not much they can do about it right now, but that'll definitely be something that'll have to be addressed via a tire pressure change or something like that in the first pit stop cycle. But for now, Cole's just gotta hang on and make sure he doesn't lose too many spots here.
Yeah, right now, I mean, you know, at this kind of track, you want to try and get those tires heated up, and if you can't do that, you know, just because that's gonna hurt your runs through the corners and really everywhere. Everyone on track, everyone who started this race is still running. 39 car has gotten around the 16 of Shelby, so Lily Talberson moves up to 4th. think Shelby might have just kind of used up her stuff at the start of this run, and she goes wide there.
Oh.
I think the
52 might be struggling with not enough heat in those tires. The 16 could potentially be struggling with too much.
And I think Shelby's kind of realized, I think Shelby, you know, she's used to open wheelers. This is kind of a new experience for her, running these kind of cars. And, you know, the way that you run the car, you know, maybe she can run it hard. Maybe she knows how to run it hard on an open wheeler, but in those kind of cars, she ran it hard for those first few laps and has really suffered here, you know, as we're now, 12 laps into this run. After about 30 laps is when those tires are going to start to be completely chewed out. And that's when we're going to see cars start coming to pit road.
'62 all over the back bumper. The 16 there coming up the hill and into the beverage balcony. Going back down the hill, still right on the back bumper of the 16. And we also got the 6 back there on the back bumper of the 26. I'll definitely tell you what, this very high drag package has definitely done wonders in keeping these cars really close together. And still, even though these guys are spread out, we're still seeing a lot of passing going on, as it looks like we're going to see one right here.
Yeah, here comes the 6 on the 26. McJasmine is going to clear before we even get to turn 9. We see Jukovic making the move on the 16 here. So we'll move Jukovic into the 5th spot. Alice Jukovic, she won the Daytona 500, but, you know, this is her this is also one of her expertise. She, you know, motorbike racer is where she comes from. And this is kind of the thing she knows how to do, is run these road courses hard, but usually she's got very up close and personal with a lot of these tracks.
Or maybe without the crazy elevation changes, I could probably see Willow Springs being a pretty cool bike track.
I think it is a bike track, or at least it has been one. Liam, what's up on the 16 of Maya Shelby?
Just talking to the 16 team and what they've been hearing over the radio. Maya's having trouble getting to the inside on the corners. Not sure if the car's running too tight or what's going on, but Maya's just not getting the speed and the cornering angles that she wants out of the race car. So hopefully when they come down pit lane, they're going to try and fix that, get that car running as fast as it possibly can, try and regain some of those lost positions.
Obviously you want to be obviously you want good cornering. See, Marisha Bebel run this track. She actually has a decent bit of experience here at this track. Ran for the lead in a Echo Energy Series race until she tangled
Latanya
with
Gray.
Latanya Gray, yeah. Those two who have, let's just say, a history.
That's definitely one way of putting it.
22 starting to close back in on the 98 here. You know, the gap was about a second before, but now the 98's kind of let the 22 close back in. And the 21 is also starting to close in as well. Amani Wandayo in that car. I mean, this is a name you're probably familiar with if you've seen the LCI Amateurs as well, as Amani Wandayo.
Well, I've been pretty silent so far in this race, just quietly making moves up towards the front, probably trying to just save their tires. And honestly, props to them. It looks like they've done a pretty good job of that so far. They've been just kind of slowly reeling in our race leaders now. And maybe soon could potentially be here within striking distance of what I believe is their teammate at 22.
Yeah, Wandayo, yeah, that is her teammate up in front of her. Those are two red racing cars. I mean, the other red racing cars, I mean, Stoneman is in 13th. And I mean, I have to give a shout out again to Arlen Handstrom. Handstrom's moved up to 14th. She started way back in 27th, so she's made up 13 spots in the start of this race. And her other teammate, Yapi Malikson, back in 26th. Everyone kind of looking on the 22 here. I mean, we got three cars within a second of each other.
Could potentially be setting something up here for these final couple of corners. We've seen Hyundai make the move back on the, I believe, the 16 back going into the sweeper. So
Mhm.
I have to see if they can pull that same move again here to the 22.
She's going to be a little kinder on her teammate.
Maybe not if the 22 goes wide.
Yeah, maybe not.
And here we go.
For the second position, Wandayo going to take it away from Davison, and she's going to get a great run. She's going to close in on the 98 here.
Peeking down to the inside.
The Peruvian driver, Amani Wandayo, who came up from karting. That's where her road course experience comes from. I mean, we're seeing, up front, now we have two road course drivers.
It's going to leave the door open.
Here we go. Jarsaraj drove it deep to try and get the defensive line here into the balcony. But Wandayo's going to try to take the outside and here in this corner. See if she can stay with the 98. Through the kink there. The 21's going to stay there, and she's going to get to the lead here, I believe. And Wandayo will clear the 98, so move the 21 to the front of the field. Amani Wandayo now out front in that red racing car. I mean,
Takes the lead away in one fell sweep. No pun intended.
yeah. Mika Harina's moved her way into 10th. Now in the 34 car. Gotten by the 99 of Vebels. There's quite a bit of battling going on. There's our points leader Jocelyn Nihale. Well, she's back in 27th at the moment, so not been a stellar day for her. We see Harina moving by Chantose now for the 9th position. I mean, this is something that Harina's good at too. Harina's become kind of good at everything, really. In her stint in racing in North America. And we see Davison has also gotten by a Jarsaraj, so now it is a red racing 1-2 at the front of the field.
The team owner is definitely probably loving this so far.
Talverson sitting 4th in the Evans-Ross racing car. I mean, you still have to give a shout out to Shelby, even that she's slipped back to 6th now, but she's still running quite well. I think this 16 is in a very good spot, especially for this being her first real stock car race. Battle for the 2nd spot. Ajarsaraj trying to take it back from Davison. The more these two battle, it's going to let the 21 get away, but also it's going to punch a hole for the 39 to close in on these two.
Wandayo's probably loving seeing this in their mirror as these two go at it there for the 2nd position. And yeah, that's going to invite the 39 in to potentially kind of join this battle. You got the 62 not too far back, and you got the 16 holding on. And I mentioned them kind of slipping back a little bit, but they're doing a great job right now at holding on to that track position. And if they can hold on, maybe make some adjustments once we get to that pit cycle, they could still be in a pretty decent spot to maybe fight for the lead as the race goes on, but we'll just have to wait and see. But right now, it's all Armani Wandayo out front, pulling away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing, this high drag package doing a great job keeping these cars together, but also keeping the battles tight. These cars are able to get big enough runs on each other where they can make it, they can kind of keep with each other, and you're able to see good passing opportunities. Here comes Talverson. 39 car will take that third position away from Davison. Well, she'll try to. Davison's going to fight back, though.
He's trying to hold on, but they say side by side going in the sweeper, the advantage is going to swing back in the 39's favor, which it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. The 22 trying to send it in an outside lane, but it doesn't really seem like there's enough grip up there to make it stick, and it looks like coming out of the corner, the 39 is going to take that spot away from the 22 and move up into the third position.
Battling back here, that's you're seeing Hanstrom against Waterton. You got Vebels fighting with Stoneman for the 11th position. And you know, 9 car apparently of Carly Byrne has been on pit road. We'll see what that's up about.
Ooh. Got chopped off the nose of the 31 there, but
I mean,
this is going to be interesting here because it looks like they're on fresh tires.
Yeah, this car is going to be on fresh tires. Okay, that car clearly has some kind of issue getting the power down because she's way faster in all the corners. But you saw the 27 close in on the straightaway.
Could potentially be an engine problem there for the 9.
Yeah, that might be a might just be kind of having a cylinder down or something like that. 22 slipped back to the 62 now.
Might slip back behind the 62 as he's going to leave the inside open there. 62 is going to try and get to the inside. See what happens as they go into turn number 1. It looks like, though, the 22 is going to get the better run off the corner and stay clear for the time being, but 62 still right on the back bumper of the 22. What happens as they go here through the rabbits here?
Liam, what's up on the 9 of Carly Byrne?
Update on the 9 of Carly Byrne. Spoke to the crew. They're reporting a battery problem and a slight loss of power in the car. Not enough to keep them off the racetrack, but enough that it might slow them down in this race. They're going to try and get it fixed when they come to pit road, but definitely a wrench in the works for that team. We've seen a lot of fatal engine failures here, so for in this series that have ended races. So something that's going to be fixable on pit road is at least comforting to see.
Yeah, that's a tough break for Carly Byrne, who's had she's struggled all season. Not really of her own volition, but Byrne's kind of just been in just had a lot of issues this year. And for a driver who is very highly touted as one of the next big young drivers, been a tough opening stint for her in AWSCO.
Definitely a tough break there for the 9, and you know, another factor that didn't really get mentioned but could definitely still be looming out there is, of course, we're in the California desert here, so the heat could definitely play a factor. Guys definitely probably need to manage their car as much as they can, so could have potentially seen the California heat take its first victim there.
We see Talberson's moved up into the 3rd spot. Wandayo's leading by about a second. 98 second, the 39 is 3rd, then the 22-16 has gotten by Yukovic, so Shelby's moved back into the top 5. Gianni McJasmina having a very good run right now in 7th spot. McJasmina is also one of those drivers who's just not had very good luck this year, but up into 7th. I mean, that's not something to be upset with. Mika Harina's moved up into the 8th spot ahead of Rachel Cole, and the 34 has been on kind of a charge here as well, so you know, don't count the 34 car out of this one.
I saw somebody there in the standings out of the race from an accident.
Yeah, the 82 of Payson Nieria is out of the race, and that's tough for her because she was 3rd in the points.
Yikes!
So we'll have to follow up on that.
Definitely a tough break there, especially considering Her points position coming in, that's really going to throw a wrench into things.
We're
It
gonna
looks like
go
this
back
happened
and
a lot
see.
earlier in the race, so I'll
This
have to
happened
see
a
what
while
happened
back.
here.
This happens going into the in the sweeper here. Oh yeah.
No!
Yep.
Oh, that's a hard one.
Yep. That is a difficult one for Yuria there. But because she was close to the pit lane, because she was that close to the pit lane, the AWSCO officials decided that that was not worth a yellow flag, so we didn't hear about that. They were able to get the equipment out there and get her off the track as quick as they could.
Really hard hit there for the 82. Really hope she's okay after that one.
Yeah, me too. So, you know, we got Mika Harina is closing in on the 6 here. Rachel Cole's kind of slipped back to this group here.
Back to the line, it'll be lap number 25, so we should be about 5-6 just laps away from that pit cycle, so
Yep.
all these guys going to be thinking about strategy here, see what everybody does, and it'll definitely be interesting to watch.
I mean, we gotta watch this 9 car. You know, she just came off the pit road. She has tires. And I mean, she's kind of been driving her way through the field, despite the fact that, I mean, if you look at this car, it has pretty much no straightaway speed at all. Like, watch the 9 car here. And then watch her absolutely power through the sweeper here. I mean, this car very clearly, you know, has some sort of issue. Has that obviously she has that battery issue, but that car, I mean, those tires mean everything. 98's closed back in on the 21 here. So we may see a battle for the lead shape up once more.
Honestly, if I'm the 39 car, I'm looking at what my teammate is doing and looking at just how much these tires mean, and honestly, I might potentially think about coming in early, but also that could lead to short-term gain, of course, long-term loss, though. That'll definitely be interesting to see what everybody does decide to do, but
We've lost 2 seconds on
39's
lap time.
definitely in an interesting spot here.
98's pitting.
Oh, here we go.
Here comes the 39 as well. All right. '26 is in as well. This appears to be scheduled stops. So, hey, you spoke it into existence. We got the, you're like, you know, I think we should get you should think about pitting here, and these cars have all come down pit road for tires. Just 25 laps into the run, and I mean, you can see how much these tires have worn out. Marashio, what's up on the 98 of Ajar Siraj?
Yep, made my way over to pit road for this upcoming cycle. Made it just in time to get to see these cars start coming in. The chatter around the 98 pit, the chatter around the 98 pit box was about making that undercut potentially work for them there. There's no real handling problems on the 98, so not many changes to the car, but just a bit of a strategy gambit there being played by the 98, and take you back to the booth for the rest of the pit cycle.
Yeah, I mean, that undercut, you saw her, she had gotten to about half a second, within about half a second of this 21, and now the 21 comes to pit road. 22, 16, 34. Looks like pretty much everybody's going to come in aside from a few cars here. Looks like the 10's going to stay out, and so is the 2. 21 is actually going to lead this lap. opponent led that lap from the pit road. So, Rasha, what's up on the 16 Shelby?
Yep, made my way over to the pit box of the number 16 Verizon team, talking to the crew chief of the team there, going to be making a track adjustment and wedge changes to that car just to help Shelby kind of improve her car on the corner exits there. Maybe that'll help her make some of the moves that she's been wanting to make all day long so far. Back to you.
Liam, 52, Rachel Cole. Liam.
Just sorry, forgot to turn my microphone on. Just watched the 52 make her pit stop on pit lane here. Looks like the team took a little longer on the left sides than they wanted to, but managed to make up that time on the right sides. It was 4 tires and fuel like everybody else coming to pit lane here. So I mean, that when we talked about pit strategy on the pre-race show, that's what we were talking about with these. Not wanting to have long stops and lose track position, but they were able to recover it with those right side tires.
Oh, we got one off.
34 of Harina was off the track. I'm not sure what that was about. I was gonna point out, we've seen now the undercut. The undercut has worked for Ajar Siraj. She's moved up to the lead. Lily Talberson has moved to second with the undercut. We see the rest of the field coming down pit road.
Oh no, the 16! 16 is on pit road with heavy damage.
Oh, 16 is Shelby. What happened there?
Oh no, that's such a tough break.
Oh, big
Oh
crash.
my goodness.
That's what happened. Oh, just got locked together with the 34 of Harina.
Another hard hit.
That is off the track, so that's not a yellow. The rules on that are going to be, again, the yellow flag rules here are we don't have the yellow flag unless there's a car stop on the racing surface. And obviously we had an exception for the 82 earlier, just because she was so close to the pit road. I mean, we've seen 2 incidents. We've seen multiple incidents with cars going into those unprotected walls, and I mean, you gotta hope that these drivers are okay after these incidents, but just a tough break for everyone, really.
Yeah, tough break for both of those cars involved. The 16 out of the race. Ran really well early on in the race, and yeah, that was such a tough break there. And the 34 looks to have had a strong car here in the early stages of this race. I was going to point out, it looked like the 34 had made up quite a bit of time there under the pit cycle, came out right behind the 16. Unfortunately, now that incident alone is going to cost them a couple of spots, and now going to probably struggle with the damage for the rest of the race. So yeah, really tough break for those cars. And I've seen a lot of races here at Willow Springs, and honestly, without fail, it's always after these pit stops where we usually see a lot of chaos unfold, and unfortunately, it looks like this race was no exception to that.
Yeah, and we have at least 2 more pit cycles coming up if they continue to pit at the 25 lap intervals like we've seen them do. Oh, there they go again!
We got another one!
Landstrom.
Oh, we got more cars on pit lane.
The 3 and the 13 appear to have come in. I think that might have been planned.
What happened to the 62
was
as well?
limping around the track here. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Car's coming off the pit lane. The 3 comes out of the pit lane and merges right into traffic.
Oh, jeez.
64 took to the dirt to avoid that. Yeah, it looks like the 3, again, the 3 was off the track, so no yellow flags there. We have received word from the AWSCO officials that the 82's incident was a one-time issue. And it was only really because she was at the back of the field that they were able to pull that off, and we're unlikely to see that not be called a caution again, so. Oh, the 93.
Oh, the 93 is off!
Tosima just went right off into the embankment there. Oh, jeez. I mean, you know, chaos after pit stops. We're seeing everything happen after pit stops. I mean, it was very calm up until this point, and now it's now we've had about 3 or 4 separate incidents.
Without fail, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just all these guys being really over-aggressive with the fresh tires, but it's always after the pit cycles here where everyone starts to get a little bit crazy and over-aggressive, and usually see a lot of accidents and incidents take place. And yeah, like I said earlier before we had that whole thing, unfortunately, yeah, this race is going to be no exception to that. So a lot of cars definitely affected by that. A lot of good cars as well. And we'll have to see how the rest of this run goes, and we'll have to see if we see that again during the other pit cycles that we're going to have during this race.
The 2 and the 91 are battling for 11th right here. The 10's gotten by the 34 for the 9th position. And the 34 with damage. I mean, we're probably going to see as well, you know, if this race continues to go green, those cars that were involved in those incidents excuse me. Excuse me. I think the 13 and 71 might have been involved in something. Okay, the 71 I guess just pitted for a second time for some reason. Excuse me.
Too much just happened. We need a bit of a breath catch.
Oh!
Never mind.
91 and the 2.
Forget I said that.
Yeah, you jinxed it immediately. We need a bit of a breath catcher, and they immediately spun each other off the track.
Come on, guys, please.
Is Javida and Alicia burn? I mean, I guess, you know, I talked about how Carly has not had a great season. Alicia hasn't really had a great season either. The 91 is, actually the 9 and the 91 are right next to each other in the points. Which is 32nd and 33rd, so, you know, those aren't places you really want to be adjacent to each other in the points for. I mean, once again, Abby Little off the pace. We've seen Abby Little, I mean, it's just been a rough season for Little. And I feel like when Little does finish, she's usually well off the pace, a few laps down.
Definitely been a tough season so far for that 71 car of Abby Little. Unfortunately, don't really know what's going on with that 71, but yeah, definitely a little bit off the pace there. And like you said, unfortunately, it might be another one of those kinds of finishes that we've seen so far this year from Abby Little, really to no fault of her own.
Yeah.
Yeah, another tough break for Little. And we're getting hectic here in the sweepers. We got the 9, who's now on older tires.
Yeah, she's on older tires, so she's going to be even worse on pace than everyone else here. And obviously, with the power issue, down the straightaway is not helping her out.
Oh, she almost got turned there by the 31. Oh, boy. She might still get turned here by the 31.
I mean, she's trying her best to get turned, it looks like. Number
Goodness.
19's all over her. And, you know, we're going to see the 34 probably drop out of 10th as well. That 34, the damage on that car just... It looks like it's hurt her. Rashio, what's up on the 71?
AWSCO managed to stop by the 71 team on the way back to the studio here. Yeah, the reason why they came down pit road a second time there was because Little was reporting some sort of vibration on the car. She wasn't entirely sure which wheel it was coming from, so they brought it in and well, they changed the tire, but she's still having problems turning the car. It might be a more inherent issue with the suspension or something, but they're just gonna keep it going for now because I'm not sure if they have any clue what the real problem is on that thing. So just another tough break for that Monster Energy team.
Yeah, I mean, looks like Audie Stoneman's come down the pit road. She also had quite a bit of damage on her car, so we'll have to follow up on what that is. Eva Jarsaraj with about a 4-second lead on Lily Talberson. Money Dios drop back to third, and I mean, this undercut has worked really well for Jarsaraj. She's well out front now. I mean, I don't know if that's the adjustments they made on this last stop or what, but that 98 clearly very fast. Liam, what's up on the 10 of Audie Stoneman?
You hit the nail on the head, Echo. It was Audie Stoneman came down, got damage repaired for that car, obviously involved in an incident earlier, caused a bit of damage to that race car, and then there was a splash of fuel. Team put a little extra fuel in, maybe try and get this car to run a little longer on a run. And I mean, obviously on a secondary strategy already because of that damage repair, maybe try and make the best of it.
Well, here's the interesting thought here on that 10 car. Put a splash of fuel in. I think now they're gonna try and plan to only stop her one more time. You can make it to lap 70 or lap 65. You can make it to the end on field. The field window here is about 40 laps. The tire window is much shorter, but theoretically they might be trying to just one stop it to the end here, just because. I mean, this track is, you know, track position is pretty key here. It's a road course. '98 has gotten around the 13, put that car a lap down. Lily Talberson still second. Mondayo third. Davison, Cole, Chandose, Vebels, Adriello, Malikson, and Schliesenbach is the top 10.
Schliesenbach looks like, yeah, it might have a little bit of damage there to the 8 car. Could have been maybe contact in pit lane or something, but still some pace under the hood of that 8 car and doing well here, making their way up here in the top 10 despite the damage.
Yeah.
So, strong stuff here from Schliesenbach, and we might have a battle eating up behind them as the 34 continuing to lose spots here with the damage.
Schliesenbach came into this
we
race.
might have 3 wide.
Schliesenbach came into this race 4th in points. And, I mean, another top 10 run will definitely help her, especially considering the issues that the 82 and the 19 have had. Whoa, Abriella.
Oh, boy.
All over Vebels here. I mean, Vebels is not going to give in very easily to this.
So that's probably one of the better runs I've seen on the outside coming out of the sweeper. So Vebels not giving this up easily.
No, she's fighting back.
Right back to the back bumper of the 20.
Looks to the inside.
There we go again.
I had to check up
Oh, I had
just
to
a little bit.
check up, but so did the 20. Oh, but the 99 had to check up again.
the battle here for the 7th spot.
Still bumper to bumper as they go up the hill. 99 takes a peek at once again to the inside. As they go down the hill, the 20 is going to shut the door. And this battle will
20 ran
continue to
wide,
rage
though.
on for the time being.
21 of one Dio now trying to get by the 71 a little. But I mean, the 98, car to beat right now. As Zersraj looks like the strongest driver right now. We'll see how long she stays the strongest, but the 98 looks like a car that has the best pace right now.
Definitely now out to a 5.66 second lead over the 39 of Talbertson. 98 is definitely probably the car to beat here as this race goes on. We still got probably 2 more pit stops, I think, for these guys.
I believe 2 more stops. If they pit 50 and 75, that'll be right on cycle.
Yeah, still about 2 more stops and still a handful of laps to go here in this one, but right now I'd say it is looking pretty good here for the 98 car.
And Ajarsaraj, who finished top 10 at Daytona, but I mean, Ajarsaraj has run very fast pretty much every race, but she's had some sort of issue getting in her way. 62 goes wide as she gets lapped there. But Ajarsaraj has run very fast in pretty much every race, but she's had just rotten luck. Ended up, she was running lead lap on the pace at Calder Park before she dropped this cylinder. Then she dropped another cylinder at Bathurst while running in the top 10. Involved in an incident at Vega, and she was involved in incidents the last couple weeks after running at the front of the field. So, I mean,
The season that she's had so far, I bet the team is definitely not counting their chickens just yet.
Yeah, no. Battle for 3rd. Here comes Davison on one Dio. The teammates touch. But I mean, it's definitely the better end of what we've seen happen in that corner.
Yeah.
We had Delav, who won at Fontana. Pretty solid run in 12th right now. Arena's dropped back to 17th. I mean, obviously the damage is affecting this car. You can very clearly see it because she was top 10 before all that, and now she's dropped well outside of the top 10, back to 17th. Still only 2 cars have retired. Mimi Barrino in the 3 car is currently scored 5 laps down. And a tough run for her because she finished 4th in Bathurst, the other road course that we've run. But it's a 6-second advantage for Ajarsaraj.
Honestly, shout out to Rachel Cole there in the 52, who kind of talked about earlier on in the race for slipping back just a little bit, struggling with the handling of that car, but she's kind of just found her place right now, running in the 5th position, so good run here for her so far, and she could potentially be closing in on the cars in front of her. Don't know quite yet, but he's definitely not too far away.
Yeah, clearly the 21, I mean, she was very fast, on that last run, but clearly, I guess something's up with the adjustments they made in that car. Just not on the same pace as she was before. Whoa, what is this?
Oh, it's gonna get blocked.
13 cars down the pit road. We'll catch up on that. Yanni Waterton. Liam, what's up on Waterton?
13 just hit the pit lane. The team's reporting a coolant leak in that race car. And I mean, when you're out here in the desert, that's definitely not a good thing. They brought it to pit lane immediately to get it patched up. Looks like they're also changing some tires. Just doing a full service on that car before they send it back out.
Yeah, it's definitely not the kind of mechanical failure you want here.
No. I mean, granted, we're running here a little earlier in the year, so it's not going to be as hot, but still, you don't really want to be running without cooling, especially in a place like this where the heat is very dry.
Mm-hmm.
Talberson's still sitting second, and I mean, I have to give a shout out to Talberson as well. Just caught the 3. But I mean, you have to give a shout out to Talberson as well. She's also kind of one of these drivers who's experienced on road courses, but still a pretty good run for her. And I mean, something that I think Talberson has desperately needed after she struggled to start the season, but she did get a top 5 last week in Fontana, and really kind of driven her way up here towards the front. And I mean, that first run was very key. We saw a lot of these cars that are up the front, drive through the field to get up here. Alicia Byrne, who was involved in that in the incident with the 2 earlier, still up here. 34 has slipped back to 19. We got an interesting little, cram up here. Now the 6th, 7th, and 8th place cars are all kind of right next to each other, and they're going to catch a couple lap cars. 71 and 62 are right alongside each other here.
Goodness.
Whoa. Now, see the
Whoa.
9 car. The 9 car was on pit road there. That's just because she's off cycle. Hopefully she'll be careful merging out. Oh, almost made contact with her sister there. That would have been funny.
Oh, that would oh dear.
Devils is trying to get by Gabriella. See this fight here. Wandayo fighting now Rachel Cole.
And back there, it's honestly been a crazy battle between the 20 and the 99. Those two have pretty much just been swapping positions this entire run. 20 doing a good job right now at holding that 99 off, but with how we know Mauricia can be, I have no doubt that she could potentially be getting a little bit irritated by now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think both of them will be. I think Mauricia's always kind of irritated.
Fair enough.
I mean, we're seeing, Mauricia's kind of fighting. She was fighting with Gabriella, who's another driver who's pretty aggressive, kind of like Mauricia. I mean, I don't think anybody really compares to Mauricia's level, but Gabriella's one of those drivers who doesn't really give an inch, and I think Mauricia knows that and respects that. Oh, Little puts the 99 in the wall, though. Trying to get around the lap car in the 99. Just got absolutely taken out by the 71. Well, if Mauricia wasn't upset before, she definitely is now.
Well, yeah, now she's definitely irritated.
Yeah. Whoa, contact here as well with the 52 and 21.
Well, goodness. You'd think we just got finished with a pit cycle.
I mean, we're about to see one in about a few laps here. Vebels is going to get by the 23 here. And funny enough, that's actually going to get Vebels right back to the spot she was in before. Behind the 20. Granted, she's going to be 6 seconds back with the 20 now, but it is the same spot. Liam, what's up on the 99?
I mean, you guys were talking about it, and things are heating up in the desert. Mauricio Vebels obviously very upset with being taken out by a lap car, especially well in a fight for a pretty solid position here in the top 10. Luckily, didn't end up losing a position, but she is not happy in that race car right now.
I'd have to get some popcorn before listening to that radio.
Yeah. I don't think we can play that radio.
Straight out of Kurt Busch 2012.
Yeah, we have received a radio transcript and we cannot play it.
Yeah, I kind of figured that, I guess.
Gabriella pressuring Chantose. Delod is up into 10th spot, so, you know, pretty solid run for Delod. After last week's victory, she's just backing it up here at the road course. Pole got by Wandayo there. 52 car into 4th. And I mean, Ajarzaraj is 9 seconds out in front now, so. I think we gotta wait till the pit cycle again to see more chaos.
Honestly, I'd say we've probably had our fair share of it here over the course of this run here.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at the radio transcript from Latanya Gray, I don't know how many times I'd have to press that censor button.
You mean Mauricio Vebels, right?
Yeah.
If she hears about that, she's gonna be even more mad. I mean, her teammates running pretty solid though. Lily Talberson, pretty quiet race for the 39 so far, but she's been up at the front, running second right now, and I mean that car definitely looks very fast. I just think at this point she kind of needs a caution. Oh, somebody.
Oh, that doesn't look good.
Somebody was off there in that corner. I'm not sure who that was. That was the 96 of Brigatino.
Oh dear.
Oh, yep. 96 car goes in the corner. 19 just hooks her.
Oh.
It's the second time we've seen the 19 get in that wall. 96 not going to be able to continue. But once again, off the track, so no yellow there.
Another hard lick up there at Beverage Balcony. Oh, and things are getting hectic over here. Goodness gracious.
Delod just pinned Vebels behind the lap car of the 3.
Closing in though on that second cycle of pit stops.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
Honestly, the 98's in a really good position right now. Over a 10-second lead back to the 39. She could probably do just about anything she wants at this point.
Yeah, I think except for stay out for 10 laps.
Yeah, pretty much.
8 car on pit road. Laurie Schliesenbach. 34's in. 93. 1960. Looks like these cars, you know, they were pretty close to the end of the lead lap, so I think they're just trying to jump. I think they're just trying to jump it a little bit so they can stay ahead of the leader here once it cycles out. Pretty much everybody that's up front on the lead lap, though, still on track. Liam, what's up on the early stoppers here?
These cars coming in for early pit stops, they saw sort of the advantage that the 98 was able to pull from that undercut on the first pit cycle. And what they're doing, they're coming in early, trying to gain some ground before they get, you know, completely caught by the leaders. And hopefully we'll just try and undercut this pit cycle to gain some track position back, get them in a better position for the next cycle.
It's an 11-second gap now after the 39 for the leader in the 98, so
22 is actually honestly kind of reeled in the 39 there.
yeah, Davidson's closed up.
Pretty sure the 22 might have pitted a lap later, I think.
I believe she did.
So yeah, that could potentially be a little bit of a tire advantage there for the 22, and that could be why she's closing in on the 39 here.
I mean, I will say, I will point out here, we have already had one race in the California desert this weekend where the leader was up by 10 seconds and didn't win. No shade to
true.
No shade to Pato here, but I'm just throwing this out there. Like this isn't over.
I mean, to be fair, the car that was chasing him down was Alex Palou,
I mean, yeah.
who just might be him.
More early stoppers. You got a Javida Alicante's total runner in. Zarsaraj going to stay out another lap as
Still
we
staying
take
out on the racetrack.
the cross flag. So we are at halfway in this race here from Willow Springs. We've been green the whole way.
Ooh.
Jeez, be careful coming out of pit road. Towson coming in.
Oh, here we
for
go.
an early stop here. Play to try to make up some ground here, I believe. When you're 11 seconds back to the lead, I mean, you might as well try anything you can.
Yeah.
So halfway through this race, once we cycle out, we'll send you to, we'll get our mid-race report. But we've been green the whole way here so far from Willow Springs. And this race scheduled for 100 laps. And, I mean, it hasn't exactly been clean, but it has been green. We have not had the need to put out the yellow for anything. See what the 98 does. I think the 98 might be coming to pit road. Yes, she is. Zarsharaj brought down pit road. The 99, 27 looks like they spent some extra time on pit road just to get some of that damage repaired. '22 car stays out an extra lap here.
Looks like I think I saw Rachel Cole diving into the pit lane back there.
52's in.
Yeah.
Looks like the 20 and the 26 have come in. There's the 39 at Talberson.
Definitely not the kind of outlap you want there. Is they're going to go a little bit wide there through the final corner behind a lap car, and 98's already out of pit lane, it seems, and yeah, they're still going to have a huge lead to the 39.
She's still going to have a large lead, but we'll see how much of a gap how much the gap has changed. Liam, what's up on the 98? What do you got for their pit stop?
98, pretty run-of-the-mill pit stop. Team liked what they did there. They were pleased with it. They held on to the lead, so that was the goal, and they accomplished it. So great pit stop from that team. All good things to report there.
There's the 22 Davison. Looks like she's coming in. Looks like the 21 is going to be in here. So pretty much everybody else is going to cycle through now. '23 Malixon is in as well. 42 is going to be in. 91 is going to be in. Looks like the one car of Vancy is going to choose to stay out here for an extra lap. The 98 now out front by 9 seconds on the 39. Whoa, the 38. I'm not sure what's up with that. Gonna have to see. That signifies incident to me. Okay, I don't know. Whoa, the 23.
Potentially a problem there for the 38. Maybe. Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm not sure what.
Maybe a loose wheel or something.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they just didn't get it tight. The one of Felicia Vancy right now is the leader. There she is. Actually, no, she's not the leader. The 98 is actually going to be the leader. The one is actually, the one is yet to pit. We're going to see the 39 drive right by her. And 98 cycles back out front. 39 trimmed the gap to 8.7 seconds after that stop. 52 of Rachel Cole up to 3rd place. So a very good jump for Cole. Now we're post pit cycle. So this is when these drivers on the fresh tires, they're going to be at their most aggressive. Alright, so Azar Siraj out front. Talberson 8.7 seconds back. We're gonna give it a couple. We're gonna give it a little bit here, and we'll be sending you to the studio. But I mean, what have you thought of this one so far, Caleb? What's your thoughts on how this race has played out, and how do you think the rest of it's gonna play out?
Been a super fun race so far here from Willow Springs. Honestly, as usually the case, this track produces a lot of great racing, and definitely seen an interesting one here so far. 98 currently with a 9-second lead to the 39. Definitely seeming like the car to beat, but even though that 98 is pretty much pulled away from the rest of the field, we've still seen a lot of action throughout, seen a lot of interesting strategy, and definitely a lot of on-track developments. I can definitely tell you that much, but yeah, definitely excited to see how this race goes along, and definitely be interesting to see if that 98 can hold on.
Alright, well, we're going to send it to the studio, to the FanDuel Fan Studio, for our FanDuel Mid-Race Report, and we'll give you our FanDuel fan picks for this one. Rasha, Liam, what's up? What's up down there?
Hi, welcome back to the studio here. Here back to the studio, I should say, for the mid-race report so far. I mean, it's been a clinic by the 98 of Ava Yarsharaj so far. I think she's been the strongest car.
Yeah, for sure.
I think especially since that first pit cycle, we've seen that car just kind of pull away and kind of maintain a pretty lengthy gap over the 39 of Lily Tulberson. As you see,
whoa! Big trouble. 15 got in. We were talking about this in the pre-race show. 15 got into the dirt embankment, up and over, and that is going to be our first caution of the day.
Just like that, yeah, just like that, we'll have our first caution, and that's just turned the entire race
That's going to turn everything upside down. No
Yeah,
pun intended there. 98 going to have to complete the lap before coming around to take the yellow. AWSCO has been the car to beat all day long.
Yeah,
I mean,
clearly,
got that jump with the undercut on the early pit cycle, and
Oop, did you see another slow car?
Looks like more trouble. 60
with major damage to her left side.
She got turned coming in towards the Brewski balcony over there.
It looks like,
and that's another car upside
issue.
down.
That's another car flipping, and all of a sudden things have gone awry.
Trap. 2 cars up and over in the same lap. We mentioned the chaos on the pit cycles. You just saw it there. Watch, the 38 goes a little wide, and
wow! More cars hitting the pit wall. We saw that with the 82, and now 2 more cars have fallen victim to that pit lane entrance. And all of a sudden, everything's just been turned up to 10 here at Willow Springs. There's a lot of action, as the idea of AWSCO just kind of traverse her way through all this to take the yellow flag.
What a turn of events as we hit the mid-race here. I mean, a lot of things to report now. We got 2 cars who have rolled over. We got another one in the pit wall. I think 2 more on the same team. 17 got in the edge of the pit wall there, and just a rough lap for a lot of drivers. Something maybe that needs to be called into question at this racetrack. The safety protocols here.
Yeah, the safety standards
might need a bit of work.
Yeah, they don't seem entirely up to snuff here, especially that pit lane entrance. That looks very sketchy.
Pit lane entrance.
Hopefully everyone's okay. Yeah, hopefully everyone's okay after hitting
walls.
that. That looks like a big hit. But yeah, go ahead.
As far as I'm aware, from the pit lane, we have had any drivers in earlier accidents cleared, checked, and released from the infield care center. So at least they're all right. We'll give you guys updates on the drivers involved in these 3 incidents when we get them.
Yeah, and I will say this caution is a stroke of luck for the number 19 of Arlen Answer, who hasn't had the cleanest of races. Got into two incidents. 2 incidents already today, fell back a lap down, but she's going to be able to get that lap back. She'll be back on the lead lap when we get this race restarted. But yeah, before all of that happened, we were going to talk about the strategy game and how things were going to pan out, especially with the fact that we had 1 more stop to go before the end of this race.
Yeah, I mean, we taught the 98 pulled that big undercut in that first pit stop.
Yeah,
wasn't the first to pit on that second pit stop, but still hung on to the lead. And now that lead is gone. So
yeah, we saw how good I think we saw the 98 was a little bit faster heading into the.
Oh, we got trouble. The 20.
Oh, more
engine blown.
Oh, and just like that, another engine problem. We've seen that happen in a lot of AWSCO races this year. We haven't seen much of it today, but that's the first major engine problem we've seen for a car all day, I think.
Sand pun definitely intended here. Another one bites the dust in this race. As, I mean, it's been a rough day for a lot of the cars in the field, and just another victim of this racetrack. It's like an engine problem there. We'll get an update on that as well.
Definitely a big engine problem for this 20 of Brianna Lott, and that's what looked like a really good race with Team Flurver, and it's just turned rotten entirely. You see the 13 also coming in. A couple more cars taken. Both MBYW cars taking the chance to get some service in this caution.
Not surprising. Both those cars pretty beat up already today. 9 also back in. I'm not sure if they got that battery problem fixed, but they've had power issues throughout the rest of this race.
A couple more cars coming in at the back of the lead lap. Pretty standard stuff. We'll have to get back to you on that 20 once we wrap up this mid-race report, but yeah, I think
chaotic mid-race report to say the least.
Yeah, this is the most action I've seen in the mid-race report in all season. But a good run, yeah. Good run for the 98, good run for the 39, and good run for the 52 as well. Rachel Cole mentioned having those tire heating issues earlier on in that first run. Seems like she's managed to get those under control. And
yeah, I mean the tire heating problems. They had that slow pit stop as well. At least the slow right side or left sides on that one pit stop. They had the quick right sides, so were able to get it on the track relatively quickly, but still still impressive to see how she's recovered and moved up to third now.
Yeah, another team that we talked about earlier on the race has kind of faded a little bit as those three red racing cars that are still running in the up front, 21, 22, and 23. We saw red have a 1-2 heading into that first pit cycle, but since then it doesn't look. It seems like the changes they made to those cars have kind of been to their detriment as they've kind of tumbled down the order, falling back into the edges of the top 10.
I mean, I will say a shout out to Yappy Malixon though. She was last we checked on her, she was running in sort of the mid-20s, up in 8th position now.
Yeah,
She's put together a pretty solid run today, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that car moving forward.
yeah. Speaking of, as we look to restart the race here, I think it's time to make our FanDuel fan picks. Why don't we start with you, Liam? You have a lot of cars in your mind. Who do you think's gonna win this race?
I was gonna go with the obvious pick of Ava Zarsharaj just because of how dominant she's been all day. But with this restart looming, I'm gonna take the 52 here. I think that car's overcome a lot of adversity this race. Yeah, and she's worked her way back up. Rachel Cole, I think, is going to be someone to keep an eye on as we get to this second half of the race.
All right, I'm gonna go with the car right ahead of her, the 39 of Lily Tolberson. She's had a very solid run. I think her second run pace wasn't entirely as good as the 98, but I think we're gonna see a lot
26 coming into the pit lane.
Oh, another car coming in. Even more trouble as we head to the restart.
Not a mechanical issue. That is a scheduled stop, I believe.
Maybe a bit of a strategy gambit. We'll see. But yeah, I was talking about the 39 of Lily Tolberson as she has plenty good pace, I think, and I think she's gonna be one to watch out for at the end of this race. As the race restarts here, we'll take you back to the booth for coverage of the rest of the race with Echo and Caleb. Take it away, guys.
I don't know what just happened.
All right, we went to the
But we're
mid-race
bickering.
report and they decided all hell would break loose. Caleb, what's your mid-race pick? Who do you got?
Honestly, I'm kind of looking at that 21 there of Armani Wandayo. That car kind of fell off there after that first run, but we've seen that 21 is pretty good in clean air. And potentially, just once she lost the lead, the car kind of struggled a little bit in the dirty air, but I think if she could potentially get back up there, which now that everyone's bunched back together is a better time than ever, if she can get back up there, I think she could potentially still go for this win.
All right, well, I'm going to take the easy pick. Ava Zarsharaj, that 98 has been fast. She had up to a 10. She had an 11-second lead at one point. I think that the 98 car is easily the one to beat right here. As long as nothing happens to her, I think that 98 is going to be the one who's going to take this one home.
Oh, Vebbels almost veered into the pit wall there.
Great job to not do that. '19 of Handstrom got a bit of a delay on the restart, and here we go. Here comes
for the
Cole for the
lead.
lead. Ah, she backed off.
Maybe a smart move there. Still a long time to go here in this one. And 52 looks like she's got a fast car. And the 98 goes a little bit. Whoa! And they make contact. But both gonna save it.
Great job by both of them to not
maybe
cause
scrap
anything
what
bigger.
I just said.
Yeah, they're really aggressive now. I mean, I guess that's not terribly surprising, but I mean, we got one more stop. We just got the restart. They're all going to be after it right now. We got more battling back here. There's all three of the red racing cars right next to each other. Yeah, that's a good team photo.
Hey, yeah, break out the cameras for this one.
Yeah.
It'll look really good inside the team shop.
Only the 10's not in that one.
98's honestly kind of driving it wide here in these corners. Don't really know what's going on with the 98. Maybe didn't get those tires as heated up as she would like, but 52, 98 going wide's allowing this 52 to continue to close in, to stay on the back bumper. And if the 98 makes a really big slip, that 52 might just fly by.
I mean, I want to give a couple shout-outs as well here. 98's teammates, Alicia Byrne, remember she was involved in that spin with Javida, up to 9th. Perry Alicantes, who started way at the back of the field, she started 39th. She's up into the top 10. She's 10th right now in the 18 car. And I mean, don't count out Arlen Hamstrom either. She's a little bit far back, but if there's another caution, she'll get caught right back up to the leaders, and she'll drive right by again as the 21 goes off.
One Dio.
Woo! Close.
Oh,
Whoa, the 18 and the 31
10.
have gone into the pit lane, but not into the pit wall.
Thank goodness for that. Oh,
Here
here
comes
we go
Cole.
again for the lead.
Cole looking to the inside. They're going to be side by
And he
side.
just keeps leaving that door open.
Ooh, tight. That's where we've seen
Boy.
issues. 52
She's
of
got
Rachel
it,
Cole
though.
has gotten by, though, and Cole now out front.
Comes to 39 as well. These two being side by sides kind of allow that 39 to close in.
Yeah. I mean,
Also got the 23 right behind her.
you know who else is kind of having a good close in here? The 42 of Meca Gennaro.
About that.
I mean, Gennaro, you know, at Bathurst she had an issue. They had a mechanical issue in Bathurst, but managed to recover and finish in the top 10. I mean, Meca Gennaro knows how to drive big, tough cars like these on a road courses because she's running Stock Car Brazil. And she's really showing her expertise. She's showing her even more expertise now. Running in the 8th position. There's Jocelyn Nihil's moved up into 10th.
Hey,
Points leader
exactly
coming
what
in.
she needs right there.
Yeah, points leader coming in, and Nihil's just been very solid in this one. We haven't really heard a lot from her, but, you know, I think that's what you need. Here comes Yappy Malikson looking for the 3rd spot. Ooh, her teammates on her tight. And Wandayo got into Malikson.
Not a big fan of whatever that was. Luckily, they kept it straight.
I don't think the higher ups at Red Racing are going to be very happy with that either. But Yappy almost kept position there. Davidson's dropped back to the 8th position. Byrne is now Alicia Byrne sitting 9th behind these two. And Cole is starting to gap these two a little bit. Malikson is still there on Wandayo. Oh, she cut across the nose of the
She's
21.
not happy with her. She is not happy with her teammate.
Gave her a little side swipe in return.
But she went wide. The 21's going to get backed out of the inside. These two aren't done.
Hard racing between teammates.
Ooh, there might be some choice words in the team holler after this one.
Ooh,
Oh,
Wandayo.
goodness.
Not clear.
We're still going
Now she's
after each
finally
other.
clear. Rhea DeLaud trying to go around the outside. She won't make that stick. 98's kept up with the 52 here. I mean, I think as soon as the leaders took each other out on the 2nd lap, I think we knew that this race was going to be weird.
Yeah. That was probably a sign of things to come.
Yeah. 18 is still on pit road. The 19 has just pitted. Looks like they pitted to try and repair some damage, so that car off the track.
I think it looks like they
18.
just completely tore the rear bumper off.
Yeah. I'm not sure why the 18's still sitting on pit road. NordVPN fastest lap still belongs to the 98 of Ava Ajarsaraj, 1:15.593. Yanaga, Malikson, Vancy, and Delod round out the top 5 in that order.
Oh, and here we go again.
Malikson still trying to get by Wandayo. Oh, car around. It's
Oh, we got
Davison.
22.
And I think Gennaro got into her.
Oh, Gennaro's still off of the track.
And she spun it coming off. And she took the 64.
Oh, she took out the 64. Oh, no.
Well, I mean, just as we talk about the chaos comes back. I mean, the leaders are really bunched together. Yeah, the 18's rolling out now. She's going to be 4 laps down as she comes out of pit road, but... Ooh, be careful coming out of pit road. Okay. The pit exit here is in a bit of a weird spot, I think.
Yeah, definitely. A very tedious
23.
pit lane exit. Oh, that's a bit of contact.
23 was being aggressive. Malikson was all over Talberson there, and I think maybe a little too aggressive. Gonna give Talberson a little bump here.
I'd probably be a bit worried if I was Tyverson right now, because the 2 cars behind her are probably driving pretty angry right now.
Cole in the lead. It's Ajarsaraj second, Talberson, Malikson, Wandayo, Delod, Alicia Byrne, Yatika, Yanaga, and Vebels. Shout out to Yenfi Yanaga. Started second, and she got involved. Well, she got involved in that incident on lap 2. She's back in the top 10 now. She's managed to recover all the way back up here.
How about that? Good for her.
Jada Parkins, who started on the pole, still pretty off the pace right now. Here comes Malikson.
Oh boy.
There's a battle back here. Delod against Wandayo.
Oh boy.
Tight into that corner, but managed to make it stick. Malikson got by Talberson there for the 3rd spot. And now we might see the 23 go for 2nd here. I mean, just remember that Malikson also comes from a pretty similar thing. You know, like how Gennaro came from Stock Car Brazil. Malikson's run supercars around road courses. She's up in 3rd now. She knows how to drive places like these.
Only 3 all over the back bumper of the 98 there for the 2nd position. And yeah, these 2 are staying within close proximity of the 52 of Rachel Cole. Yeah, that 52 not really pulling away like we saw from the 98 earlier on in this race.
You know, I think we might see I think the 23 might be the fastest car of these front 3. If she goes for 2nd, I think Malikson may be the best car right now. I'd also like to shout out Michele Yatica, kind of trailing this front group. She's actually closed into this front group and caught up to them. Malikson, I believe she's going to get clear of the 98 here. Yes, she will get by. So move Malikson up to 2nd. And this has been a great race. Only one yellow flag so far, but I mean, I feel like it's possible we could get another, especially with how they race after the pit cycles. Russia, what's up on the 98 of Ajar Siraj?
Well, Echo, we mentioned in the mid-race report just just how much that caution turned things upside down for a lot of drivers, and this 98 team is one of those that's been pretty negatively affected by that. The team weren't exactly prepared to be making the making the adjustments needed for a short run restart like that. So their car still configured more or less for long run purposes, which is why they've lost those two initial positions for now. But they're staying positive, and with one pit cycle left to go, I think they're remaining optimistic that they can still win this race. But definitely a blow to the hopes for that 98 team to just kind of run away with this win.
And she was out front by 11 seconds earlier. And now she's slipped back to third, with Rachel Cole leading this race, the driver from New Jersey, ahead of Yappy Malakson, the Australian. Next week, we're going to be in Colorado, up in the Rockies, high up. It's going to be for the Continental Series. We're going to Pikes Peak International Raceway. First time that track's going to see a big competitive race in over 20 years. And then we're going to go to Denver Motorsports Park, the all-new track that's the new track that's been christened in that area. 2.28 miles. And that one is such a fun track to go to. We'll be there next week in Colorado. Hope to see you there. Meanwhile, though, it's the 23 who's closed back in on the 52. Here we go. Battling up front for the lead.
52 trying to shut the door, with the 23 staying vigilant, but it's going to fall back there as the 52 has the advantage there through Castro Corner, but 23 probably definitely going to fight back here as 23 on the curb to the right-hand side of the 52, going to try to get back down to the inside here.
What a run.
And let out of the gas there just a little bit. The 52 is going to stay clear for the time being, but the 23 is still there. And that 23 is fast.
Yeah, the 23 clearly has the pace to battle to take the lead here. It's just going to be down to if she can make that stick. DeLog's gotten by a Wandayo. Yataka's up past Byrne for a 7th. Valicia Vancy, shout out to her. She's in 11th spot. There's Andrea Davison in the 22, slipped back to 15th. Looking for Mika Gennaro, who spun out earlier. She's back in 20th now. Mallickson's kind of trailed back here a little bit, just kind of biding her time. I mean, again, this high drag package, we talked about it a lot earlier, but it's keeping these cars very close together right now. And I think that's helping the racing here on this short run. You just got to be able to push it. You just got to be able to push it here. 23 in second. Mallickson trying to chase down the lead. I mean, clearly that 23 car is the fastest right now. We're about 3-4 laps away from pit stops, though, I think.
This pit stop is definitely going to mean a lot there. This is probably going to be the money stop, what makes or break your race. So you definitely want to deliver here on this pit stop. The stakes are a lot higher since everybody is bunched back up together. So 52, 23, 98, 39, 55, all those guys are definitely really going to have to think here of what they want to do here on this pit cycle.
23 really closed in that lap. She is all over the back bumper of the 52 right now. 117.6 to a 117.2. 4/10 faster for the 23. I mean, this 23, I think, is the one to beat right now. But we're gonna see how that cycles out once once everyone comes to pit road.
The 72 up here to see if she
72.
potentially plays a factor here.
23 slips a little wide. But the lap car there might be a bit of a factor here. Parking's trying to stay on the lead lap right now. Sat on the pole and led a lap for this race. That's about as much notes for her as will realistically be given here, just because outside of that, it has not been very solid for her. Both the road course races we've seen, the pole sitter had some sort of issue very early in the opening run. Perry Alicantes at Bathurst dropped fuel pressure. She had to pit and get that fixed, and dropped her to a 24th place finish. We see Janet Parkins sitting 24th right now after that first lap incident. We got a bunch of cars here. The 72 checked up everybody, and here comes the Jarsaraj in the 98.
And be on the inside lane here. Maybe even trying to get down to the inside with a 52 as well. Maybe trying to go for a twofer here. Kind of sent it in there. Kind of got to the quarter panel of the 52, but unfortunately not going to be able to stay there. But it's still going to stay side by side here through the 23. And if she can stay there, she'll have the advantage here going into the sweeper. That got close there between the 52 and the 72. That was close again. 52 might finally clear the 72 here. Looks like she will, but now the 98's going to be up to second. I have to see if she potentially has anything for this 52.
And the 98 was faster in that last run. Now the 23 is going to have to get by here. The 39 gets shuffled. Here comes Delod trying to get by. And now all of the top three have gotten by the 72. I think all of these top three cars have a shot here at taking the lead before we get into the pit cycle. But the thing is, we're already getting into the pit cycle. The 26 just came to pit road. And the 55, what happened to the 55? She fell way back. Oh, yep. Goes off track.
Oh.
Battling with the 39. Spins out in the sand trap. I mean, I think at this point we're going to start to see them think about coming to pit road, because this is going to be the last stop right here. I think you want to be the first one to pit, just because we saw how much of an advantage the 98 was able to get on that first run. I think you want to be the earliest in. The 55 has actually dropped. Oh, the 55 has come to pit road. 93, 2, 27,
Oh, and here we
32,
go.
34 are all in. Rasha, what's up on the 55?
Well, 55 not particularly happy with the incident with the 39 there, but team's gonna use that just to bring her in relatively early here in this pit cycle. Looks like a couple other cars followed her in as well, so I think we're gonna get the formal start to this pit cycle. As they're gonna have to take a little bit of time here to get some of the damage assessment fixed up. So, bit of a tough break, but still an opportunity, I think, for the 55 to make up some ground here with 25 laps to go.
Let's see how close it is. I mean, of these top three, I think the earliest one to pit is going to be the one that gets the biggest advantage. None of them come in, though. Looks like Vebel's just coming to pit road. Oh, well, we're probably going to see our post-pit cycle silliness in just a bit here. Cole had a Jarcerage all over her back bumper, that 98. I think she's found the speed back again. Liam, what's up? What do you got for the leaders' pit stops?
Pretty similar strategy for the leaders here. They're going to stay out a couple extra laps now that this pit site, well, might be just one or two, but they're going to stay out a little bit longer than they were originally planning to, with how chaotic these after pit cycle laps have been, and cars having already hit the pit lane. If there is a caution, they want to be not on the pit lane when it happens, so that's why they're giving it a little bit longer than we expected them to.
You know, I think if there's a caution, I think you'd want to be on the pit lane because you're making your final stop. You're going to stay out. You're not going to lose a lap. I don't know though. I think you'd want to catch a caution. All right, here we go.
Oh, here comes our
52,
top
98 are
two.
in.
23 and 21's going to stay out.
Yep, 23, 21 stayed out. 39 came in. 46 came in.
Old strategy. We'll see if it pays off.
Russia, what's up on the 52? Our leader coming into pit road.
Yep, check it in with our leaders here. Rachel Cole coming in. It's going to just take 4 tires and fuel, I'm pretty sure. No changes at all to the setup. She is very happy with the way that car is handling right now. So just need to get a good pit stop here to beat the 98 and 39 out. As she rolls off there, a little bit of a tight exit, but she'll maintain position.
Everyone comes
Maybe a
out.
bit of slow release there from the 98.
Yeah, she had a car stuck in front of her, and I think that hurt her. Let's see here. Oh, where are our leaders? There's the 23. Malixon did lead a lap, so that'll count for her bonus point for her.
Don't know where the 21 went.
Liam.
Oh, 21 pulled ahead.
Oh yeah, the 21's way ahead. Okay. 21 is coming in. Looks like the 23. Actually, I believe the 92 is ahead of all of these cars. 92 and 91 are ahead of all of those cars.
91. So they're
Liam.
really stretching it along here.
Liam, what's up?
Gonna
with
keep an eye on the
39?
23's pit stop here, but 39 team really happy with their stop. They came out right behind the 98 and potentially have a shot at taking over that position. Team was really happy with how quick they got out of the pit stall. So smiles all around from the 39 team.
A bit slow here. Really slow on the 23. Now she finally gets let out. But she's going to drop
So on
back
21
a lot.
as well. Are they? Did they make contact or something?
Maybe. There might have been an incident. There might have been an incident between those two.
So 21 was far ahead of the 23 when they were coming in.
Well, yeah, but the 91 and 92 were pretty far back of these two as well. Oh, yeah, they did make contact.
Oh, they got together! No!
That's what let the 91 and 92 get ahead of them. Okay.
And we've seen these two get together a lot during this race, and it looks like it just reached its boiling point. At the potential worst possible time.
Yeah, when it matters. Byrne and Yatica have come in, so is Vancy. So now it'll let everything cycle out here. Liam, what's up? What's up with all the red cars?
Red Racing, I mean, it's just it's chaos down here. These teams not happy. Their drivers not happy with each other. It's going to be a lot of words being exchanged in the team meeting this week. Rough way to lose the lead in this race for both the 23 and the 21 team. So, yeah. I said smiles for the 39. It's the opposite over here at Red Racing.
Well, I can imagine so. Rachel Colville out front. I imagine it's all smiles for her. I imagine also probably smiles for Vevelst. She's gained a few spots here. I believe she's
And huge shout out to this 46.
Yeah. Also a huge shout out to Yanniga because she is 5th right now.
Also, I think the 32 is in 4th.
Yeah, the 32 is 4th. That is on she is on the lead lap. I don't know if she's pitted yet, but I think she has. I don't think she'd be this fast if she hadn't.
I already talked about this 32 all day, but hey, good stuff there for them.
Whoa, Carly Byrne.
Oh boy.
That was really tight. The 31 of Taylor Happerman. I believe she has not pitted yet. She is 8 seconds out in front, but she is scored as the leader. I mean, we gotta watch out for the chaos now, because that's what's kind of defined all of the post pit cycle moments, really. And I mean, another great shout out. Remember that 93? We saw her climb the embankment earlier. She's actually up in a 9th spot right now. 3 ERR cars in the top 10 at the moment, with Talberson, Vevelst, and Tosima all being up here. 31 still on track. Yeah, she just had a whole second chopped out of her lead, so clearly she's staying out on these old tires, trying to make something work. Maybe she's trying to catch a caution or something.
Potentially, which, kind of like you said earlier on this race, just with how all these guys are racing, I still probably wouldn't count that out, but these laps are really ticking down, and it's eventually going to get to a point where that 31 absolutely has to come down the pit lane.
Yeah, because she doesn't. They don't have enough fuel to make the end of the race. That's pretty obvious. And I mean, even if she does, they don't have the tires to make that work. Does look like she's going to be staying out another lap here, though. I lied.
Oh, here she comes.
I thought I understood the pit entry line. I didn't. Well, now we got a battle for second back here, though. Here comes Talberson trying to get by Ajar Siraj. Battle for 5th right now. The 99's closed in on the 46. Halverson looking to the inside on the 98. Be careful through
Going
here.
up the hills, side by side.
We've seen a lot of trouble in this corner here. 93 going to get held off the 92. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . mean, I think we've seen our final stop for the day, so. There's how far back to 23. It should slip back to 20th. Wandayo is 18th. Really struggled. She's gonna get by the 3 there, and that's actually gonna help the 39 catch, I think, a little bit here. But Cole is pretty well out there.
Rachel Cole continuing to just kind of hold a steady lead back to the 98. Which, honestly, I'd say is probably a good play. You know, trying to maybe conserve her tires a little bit without losing too much time.
I think
while the 98 and 39 are probably going all out right now.
I think the 98 just is not very good on the short run. Like, that car clearly just isn't up to spec on the short runs, but you know, on the long runs, that 98 obviously gets way better. Like, we saw her pull way away, you know, a couple runs ago, but now there's clear track between the 98 and the 52. The 32 as well has closed in on this group. Here comes Talberson, looking for the second spot. Once again, trying to push on the 98 here. And I believe she's going to get it now. Going to get cleanly here. It's going to fight back. Look at who's this is letting close in is the 32 of Rariston. Oh, contact between the 98 and 32. .46 is now closed into this battle. These two continuing to go side by side has brought even more cars into it. 39 gonna just let off here. Let the 98 have this, and I think she's going to try and run back at her down the front stretch. Vevel's battling with Alicia Byrne. See the 3 of Barino on pit road. I mean, these two keep battling. The more they keep battling, the more they're going to lose touch with that 52. Now the 32 looking to try to take third away from Talberson. Suddenly, Rariston's kind of shown up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I think Talberson's a little faster than the 98 right now, but that 39 doesn't. I don't know if she's going to be able to make the move. That's they're very tight on each other right now. Jarsaraj has been very good at fighting back. There's where Cole is. .99 is going to drop out of 7th here. Dawkins is going to take that away from her. And 93 has dropped to 10th as well, so. I believe the 3 stop was scheduled. Because they're off cycle. Then, I mean, look at the lap time here. The 98 did close in that last lap Down, it was 4.1, now it's down to 3.8, so I don't think this is over. Not by really any stretch of the imagination here. I think the 98 may have something. Here we got a battle for third. Here comes Rariston on Talberson. Okay, no, the 3 definitely was towed. We'll have to see about what happened there. '93's come to pit road. I think she's also off cycle. Okay,
Oh.
yeah, that'll do it. Not a flip, so not a caution. Barriston trying to take third away. You know, I think if anybody has a shot, it might be this 32. This car has really come out of nowhere.
Into the closing stages of this one now. I think this time by it'll be, I believe,
It'll be 12 to go.
yeah, Rachel Cole holding now almost a 4-second lead back to the 98, but we'll have to see if that 98 starts to get better as we get into the closing stages of this race, but if she wants a chance, she's definitely going to have to move now.
Lost time.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, I think this 32 might be the one to watch right now, just because that 32 has kind of driven her way up through the field here for a bit here. 39's trying to fight back on the 32 here, though. I mean, again, you have to give a shout out to the 46 still. I mean, she's done a tremendous job. Hey, we kept it pretty clean after the pit cycle. I'll give them that. So Ajar Siraj still second. Kind of seeing her gap the 32 a little bit now. And I mean, not very much gain. She did keep about equal time. About a half a tenth was gained there. And we are at, officially, we are at our Windows 11 to go. As Rachel Cole leads the way here from Willow Springs. Jarsaraj, Rariston, Yanaga trying to take fourth from Talberson. Alicia Byrne, Yatika, Vebels, Vancy, and Stoneman round up the top 10. What do you think? What do you think we're going to see here?
Gonna be hard to tell what exactly we might see, but Rachel Cole definitely in a really good spot here with that over 4-second lead, but we'll have to see what that 98 does. Closed a little bit that last time by. We'll see what she can do this time around. It looks like she's pulling away a little bit from the cars behind her. So we'll have to see if she does gain anything this time by. Oh, she did.
3/10 that lap, yep.
That 98 might be coming alive, but she might have to start closing a little bit faster than that if she wants to get to the 52.
She may not have enough time here, yeah. these cars battling with each other back here. There's Yanaga in the 46, trying to get to third alongside the 32 here. Gonna dive it in on the outside. And she'll make it stick. Easy Javida, who had that spin earlier, still running in 12th spot, so pretty solid day for the North Star team. It helps that their other car is leading. I mean, we've seen one of the two car teams go to victory lane with. We saw Rugatino win at Calder Park, but outside of that, that's been it. That has been really all we've seen out of the two car teams in victory lane. But we'll see if Cole can make that 2 wins for those cars. Yeah, a tenth loss for Jasraj. She's not consistently gating on the 52, so it might be over for her.
Yo, definitely nothing solidified out here in the rest of the top 10, though.
Oh yeah. I mean, nothing's really solidified until we take the checkered flag. I think you've seen that
Yeah,
in
that's true.
plenty of races that you've done. So, Vancy gonna get past Vevelst for the 8th position. And remember, Vevelst pitted the earliest out of everybody, so she kind of played that track position. She played the undercut gamble, and it worked at the start of the run, but I don't think it's going to work here at the end of the run. Oh, they're almost
Whoa,
contact.
that was a big send from the 91.
91 was really trying to get it from the 92 there. She pushed it really hard, almost a little
Goodness
too hard.
gracious.
39. 55 car has come to pit road. That apparently appears to be an issue. Oh, she stopped on track.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Well, you know what that is. That is a caution. And that's going to set us up for a very late restart. Liam, you have the report on what happened to the 55?
Report is it was a tire down on the 55, and it was one that they could not drive back to the pit lane. Unfortunately, they couldn't even get that car parked in a safe spot right in the middle of the racetrack. But yeah, tire failure late into this one's going to end the race, or at least end the competitive race early for the 55 team.
Well, that is not something Rachel Cole wanted to hear.
That is probably the very thing she did not want to hear.
But yeah, with how far out front she is, I'd be curious here. You know what I'd be curious on here is how many of these cars are going to come in and take tires. Whoa, the 46 just took second from the 98.
How about that?
Wow.
Come back to the line second.
Well, we know what happened last time Yanaga was second coming to the line.
And this recovery run from this 46 is crazy. After almost wrecking out of the race on the opening lap, she's managed to claw her way back to where she was. That is an incredible...
Incredible?
An incredible feat of driving right there.
Oh, the 26 got spun as they were coming to the yellow. Well, the free pass car is going to be the 72 of Parkings. Well, with a late restart, we're going to restart probably with about 5 laps to go since these are 2-lap cautions. I cannot imagine the kind of runs we're going to see these drivers pull, especially now that the whole field's closed back up to itself. So the top 10, are all strung together here. So nobody's gonna get waved around. Unless a good chunk of them come to pit road, I would say. Pit road is
We'll have
open.
to see. Of course, track
Looks like
position means a lot,
nobody's-
but we're also really far into this run.
It looks like nobody's taking. .55 did fall a lap down. So yeah,
I
they're
thought
gonna.
someone would maybe take the gamble.
Yeah, I thought
That's
some of them
not-
would maybe come in, but nope. Well, this is going to be a very, very interesting finish here to this one. We're gonna have basically a 5-lap shootout. Rachel Cole out front right now. Yanniga, Ajarsaraj, Rariston, Talberson, the top 5. And yes, the lights are out on the pace car, so we are going to be going green this time. We don't go to another road course for a while. I think our next one is Road America, and that's race number 14. That's 8 races from now. So you're going to have a lot of time to try and get reacclimated with some of the road course program. But I mean, this one's been a very good show so far.
Definitely been a very good show, and still got one more restart to get through, so one belt's tight one more time, because this could potentially get crazy here.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot going on in this finish, I think. With how chaotic we've seen the restarts be here, I think anything can happen here. I think anybody who's up towards the front has a shot at this one. Well, 5 laps to go. Cole, Yanniga, Ajarsaraj, Rariston, Talberson, Yatica, Vancy, Alicia Byrne, Vebels, and Stoneman is the top 10. Rachel Cole is going to do everything she can to hold on to this one. Pace car is off. And we've got 5 laps remaining in this one from Willow Springs. Cole will lead him very slowly down the front. And the green flag is out. Not a great restart for the 52.
46 already trying to jump out of line.
Hey, here we go. 46 is all over her. Here comes the 98. Diving it
The
down.
98.
Trying to go 2 for
All the
1
way
here,
onto
I
the
think.
curb. The 52 is going to leave the door open, and here we go. What a restart from the 98.
Dives it in on the outside.
Oh, dives it in.
Gonna have the run into this corner. Is she gonna be clear? No. Gonna get clear on exit though. Ava Jarsaraj back out front. Here comes Yanniga for second.
Oh, 52 goes wide.
52 lost the handle there.
46 is going to clear for second.
Here comes Rariston looking for third. And Ajar Siraj, I mean, we talked about she didn't really have it great on the short run, but she just got the lead on the restart. Lots of cars side by side back here. Rariston's taken third. Yanniga is up to second. Talberson battling with Yatika. You see Vebels fighting with Alicia Byrne there. Rariston to the inside. 72
32
down
might
pit
have
road.
something.
Whoa, there's a car that's very slow back there. Holding people up. This 32's going for it.
They're still side by side. I'm sure the 98's loving this.
They're still side by side. The 98's going to love this, but for how long? Because the 98 being out front like this, that's going to punch the hole in the air for these cars to close in.
32 is going to be all the way on the inside here to the sweeper.
Dove it down.
A little bit of a
deep.
pinch there to the 46. But it's going to take the spot.
Second for Rariston now. Does she have anything for Ajar Siraj? I mean, we know Rariston knows how to race in the desert. She's from Arizona. Here we go, battle for third now. Cole trying to get by Yanniga. I mean, regardless of what happens here, this has been a great recovery for Yanniga. She's running third right now. After the incident in the opening laps, I mean, to get back up to this point, just impressive. Ariston's trying to narrow this gap. We'll see what she can do here. The 32 sits in second. We'll see if she can get it close. We'll see if she can get it closer during this lap. I mean, I thought it might have been over for Ajar Siraj with Cole having that big of a lead, but things changed quickly. 2 laps to go for Ajar Siraj, and Rariston did not gain. She lost time. Shout out to the 31, Taylor Happeman. She pitted a few laps later than everybody else. She's climbing her way up through. She's in 9th now. And she might take 8th from Byrne. This team kind of played it a little differently on strategy, and this whole thing gave them a lot of room to work with. And that 31 has about 6 or 7 laps fresher on the tires, and it's really showing, I think. Comes Cole.
Yeah, those... By side, fourth, and side by side for 6th.
Now that's Yatika and Vancy. White flag is going to be out this time. 1 lap to go for Ava. Ajar Siraj will come off at turn 9.
32 might have closed a little bit there.
Closed a lot.
Oh
We're
yeah,
very
32
close.
closed a lot.
She gained half a second
boy.
that lap. Here comes Rariston. White flag.
She
1
could
lap
pull
to
another
go.
lap like that, then she could be there.
But need to get to the bottom of that corner, and she did not really hold on the bottom, but
Oh, the 98's kind of slipping up a little bit, though. through the beverage balcony here for the final time.
Taylor Haberman, I mean, look at the 31. She's
Crazy back here.
driving through. She is driving through the field right now. Rariston's close, but I don't think she's close enough. She's gonna really have to go deep into into the sweeper in turn 8 and turn 9 to be there, and I just don't think she's close enough.
Oh, the 98 ran it wide.
98 went wide though. Here comes Rariston.
Oh, 98's going a bit wide again.
Here we go.
Oh, here comes the 32.
Here comes the 32. She's right there. But she's
Not
not
quite
going to have
gonna
enough.
get it.
Jarsraj wins in Willow Springs. And, I mean, Rariston was there. She had just a great chance, but she just didn't have enough time.
What a finish.
What a finish.
Willow Springs, you continue to rock my world.
I'm not sure why the 64 has no hood, but whatever. There might have been an incident there.
Oh.
Okay, there was definitely an incident.
Ooh, teammates. Oh.
I guess that was
64 got into the 64 got in the back of the 34. They're going through the balcony section.
it. Yeah. The 26 apparently also had come to pit road. I wonder if that was related? Or maybe that was just... Oh, it looked like it was just damage repair for the 26 here, but... Okay, these two were racing. I think they might have... Did they make a little bit of contact, or... I don't know. It doesn't look like anything happened between those two. Well, Eva Jarsaraj, you gotta give it to her. She stuck with it throughout this whole race. I mean, wow, that was a great race.
That was an awesome race.
I mean, two really good races this weekend because we had, this race, and we also had that race in the Continental Series at Irwindale. That race was really good as well. And just a great showing this weekend, and hopefully we'll be able to keep it together next weekend. I saved it as Willow Spring. But a great run nonetheless by everybody in this one. Only 2 yellows. We had a lot of chaos, but it was worth it. All right, let's send you back to the FanDuel Fan Studio with our post-race show. Rasha, Liam, got any words?
Wow!
Wow. I mean,
What a run to the end
what a
that
finish.
was.
What a late restart. I mean, car wrecked on lap 2, brought it back to finish P3.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Yanfianaga for that.
Yeah,
one.
wrecked it early on with the 72. Just kind of drove up the field all day long. It had that great run at the end and managed to secure 3rd place right behind the top 2 at the line there. It's an excellent finish between all three of those drivers, and as you say, should also give a shout out to that 31 of Taylor Happelman. Hasn't had any real luck this season, but managed to get a really strong run. That decision to stay out as long as possible on those on that final run, to start that final run, really paid off for them there, and they were able to get an amazing finish. P6 just outside the top 5 for them. So a great day for the Ozark car there.
Yeah, I mean, this race was wild. I think what happened when we had that collection of issues during the mid-race report, I think that was everybody getting their craziness out before before that final pit cycle, because the last pit cycle was pretty clean in terms of cars, getting into the wall, getting into each other. We didn't see many people in the sand trap at all or anything. So
Yeah, I
it
think there was.
was, it,
I think there's definitely a few concerns that considering we were gonna re-roll the field and get them all bunched up again, that someone was gonna. Yeah, we're gonna see a lot of incidents at that last run, but not really. We only had a little bit of contact, but just some good hard racing for positions there.
yeah. I mean, we had the 3 get stranded up on the banking or on the dirt embankment. That was about it, and then it was a tire failure that actually brought out that late caution. We had some amazing racing to the end of that.
Yeah, that was an excellent run to the end. I will say, with regard to that 46's run, that's going to be really important for her in the point standings, because I'm pretty sure most of the drivers that are ahead of her had problems. I mean, we saw the 64-19 at kind of pretty rough days. The 82-8 had very rough days as well. The 96 had all sorts of problems as well. So, most of the front runners had issues today. So that kind of just leaves Yanniga by herself with the only one that got a top 10 out of basically the entire top 10 in points. So yeah, good run, very good run for the points for Yanniga. So we'll probably see her climb back up the points here near the front. Yeah, I also want to shout out the one of Alicia Vancy. That's another driver who's kind of had a bit of a snake bitten start to the season. Hasn't had a top 15, let alone a top 10 to start the season. So good positive result there in 8th place for the MNC team, one of the teams that's just really struggled with luck and reliability just as a whole. So
yeah, I mean there was a team as well. I was hoping to be able to point out at the end of the race. It was the 23 team who seemingly finally got a good run in. Has had sort of an off and on start to the season, but contact with her teammate, and then both of them end up finishing outside the top 10. Obviously, with the caution, they recovered to finish, within 5 seconds of the leader, but not the result Red Racing was looking for from any of their drivers today.
I mean, of all the drivers from Red Racing that I would have expected to be in the top 10, Ari Stoneman is probably the last one I expected, given that she was the one that was involved in the second flip. She wasn't the one who was flipping, but she was the other car in that incident.
Yeah, obviously, 2 cars upside down. Believe everybody is all right. From last I checked, obviously, I had to come over here. Didn't get a real chance to drop down to the infield care center, but from what I've heard, everybody is okay. Safety definitely going to be something this track's going to need to look at.
Yeah, I think this track is definitely due for a big revamp, I think. So we might see that. We might see that in future seasons.
Yeah, I expect to see that.
At least some safety improvements.
Some tire barriers, maybe some expanded runoff areas, but outside of that, great race all around. Great showing by this field. I mean, they've put on a clinic for both road course races so far, and I'm excited to see more of that when we go back road course racing later this season.
Yeah, I think the AWSCO road course package is definitely something that we've had to take a look at. This high drag package has been really good in terms of creating kind of close racing, especially with at least these first 2 tracks that have a lot of straightaways and that create opportunities for passing here and there. I think they've really played to the package's strengths, I think. And we'll see Road America's a similar kind of track, so I would definitely expect that kind of racing as well in that race, but that won't be for quite a good while. So yeah, a bit of a break from the road course fair, but definitely two strong races to start the season out with this package.
Looking ahead to next week as well, heading to that newer track in Denver. I've had the privilege of seeing some of the earlier races at that track in other series, and it's an exciting show. We've had photo finishes there before. The size makes you think it's going to be very similar to Auto Club, but the lower banking really makes it
it's a very flat track. You would expect it to race a lot like, as you said, you expect it to race a lot like California, but it is a very different machine. It's over 2 miles, and it's a big, relatively flat, big oval. So almost like, I would say, like a cross between California and Pocono, maybe, but
something like that. Like specifically turn 3 in Pocono.
3 at Pocono, yeah, I think that's a good comparison.
Yeah, it's turn 3 at Pocono all the way around, and it's quite the show. So I'm excited to see that next week.
Yeah, and the
And
Continental Series will
obviously,
be at Pikes Peak, so that's gonna
return to
be,
Pikes Peak as well will be great.
yeah, that'll be a bit of a mini speedway track kind of. It has the pretty high
Yeah.
banking, but it is quite short. It's only a mile long. So that'll be a fun one as well. So two different challenges for the two series next week, but both will be in Colorado, racing.
I mean, Pikes Peak, a shorter, high banked oval, something similar to Hillside in Massachusetts is a track you can sort of mention there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a great week of racing next week. It was a great week of racing this week, both in Continental and in Cup, and a great season so far in AWSCO.
Yeah, it's been a great season. It's fun. It's fun having races where you get a lot of cars at the end, kind of all jostling around for the win. And we'll take you back to the booth for the final wrap up. Here from the studio, it's been nice having Liam around as well here. So we'll take you back to the booth now.
Yeah, and I mean, really good race. I mean, we saw some tight road course racing, but we saw them be able to close in. And I think the biggest shout here is this high drag package we've seen clearly works. They get big runs. They're able to, but they've also made it so that they're still able to corner very well. But the high drag has really helped them get those runs and make those moves to pass. We saw Bathurst and this track; it's really worked really well. And I mean, Caleb, what do you think of how we're going to see this high drag package play out in the future? Because we got, we don't go to another road course for a little bit. We don't go to another one till Road America, but we do have a segment where there's 5 road courses and 6 races. Where we go Montreal, Mosport, Mexico City, Sonoma, Daytona. What do you expect out of this package just for a lot of those racetracks? You think this is a great package that they've cooked up?
Yeah, honestly, after the race we saw today, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this package will play out on those other tracks. It was really, really good here. This was a spectacular race. Like you said, we saw a lot of close racing, saw a lot of passing, and we still saw a lot of great runs and all of that in between. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing what this package will do to a bunch of other different road courses on the schedule. Yeah, I'm looking forward now to that 6 race stretch with 5 road courses. It's going to be really interesting to see. But just, yeah, overall, a great race here today, and a great package on top of that. That was some really good stuff here from Willow Springs.
Yeah, and the track that's kind of looking, they talked about it in the post race show, but I mean, this track I think they definitely need to improve a little bit of the safety. But the good news is everyone who is involved in incidents drove away or walked away unharmed. So, with that being said, I'm gonna say I hope you guys all enjoyed this one. For Rasha, Liam, and Caleb, I'm Echo. Thank you all so much for